Hey now, say now, what's up, solar system? It's your girl, Writeous Soul, and tonight I'm actually watching the very last presidential debate. And it's the last one before the actual election, and you already know it's early voting all the way through October the 29th. So you guys go out there, make your voice heard. If you choose not to, that's on you. But definitely encouraging you to go to the polls. Keep in mind you'll need your mask. Take it everywhere. Act like you're gonna need it everywhere, even if you don't. There are some places allowing people in without masks, but not necessarily the election, the voting polls. Also, remember your license if you're trying to vote early and maybe you don't have a voter's registration card. Three, if you have your voter's registration card, it's always a plus in case you get into any hiccups. Now, what I'm doing now is I've gotten through the first section where they asked the first question. I can't remember what it was, but I can tell you now, before we go back to it, is that the boys came, at least in that little first section, a little bit more maturely. You know, they are appearing to have had the talk with the mother about, you know, when your mom had that talk with you about don't do what you did the last time you cut up in that place. All right, you cut up in that place, I'm gonna get you where you stand. You know, it's like they had to talk with their mother about that. You know, so I don't know if that's what it was, because even Donald Trump was like please to the saying please, and I appreciate that to the moderator. And then Joe Biden, of course, they're not like bickering back and forth, at least not in this first part of it. So I'm like, okay, the maturity level, some people must have talked to him and said, listen guys, we are not teens, we are not kids, we are trying to be leaders of America, and we are already in leadership positions. How about we act that? How about we act our age on that? And so yeah, so I'm seeing the back and forth isn't as aggressive in the first half, and now they're going into the, not first half, but the first segment. Now they're going into the second segment, and they're I think that's national security is the topic. Okay, cool. So they're also mentioning that Russia and Iran, or Iran, if you want to call it that, are trying to intervene with the United States election, right? So they're talking about that now, and then they're talking about their stance on it. And I think Trump goes first, but I can't remember. I'm about to push play to start it off again, but I wanted to let you guys know that I'm into this debate, and I'm just trying to see if anything changes from this debate, from the last one to this one. And not just that, because it's not going to change my mind on who I'm going to vote for unless some new discovery comes. But in the meantime, you guys sit tight. I'll be right back with you. We're going to kind of watch it a little bit together, or if it doesn't allow me to do that, I'm going to kind of recap and give you my reaction to this particular debate. And I can't wait for Saturday Night Live. I'm hoping they give Saturday Night Live some material because that gives us some hope, some humor in the middle of what we're already dealing with. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, go ahead and click subscribe, and also click the bell that's next to it, and that's going to turn on your post notifications, so anytime I upload anything, you'll be able to see it. And some subjects may hit you more than others, you may want to see or not see, but check it out for me. Make sure you comment in the comment section. Talk to me because I talk back. All right, we're going to get back into this, and give me a minute.
All of the emails, the horrible emails of the kind of money that you were raking in, you and your family. And Joe, you were vice president when some of this was happening, and it should have never happened. And I think you owe an explanation to the American people. Why is it? Somebody just had a news conference a little while ago who was essentially supposed to work with you and your family. But what he said was damning. And regardless of me, I think you have to clean it up and talk to the American people. Maybe you can do it right now.
Damning. Okay, Trump is not playing right now. He's like, listen, I'm about to call you out on your garbage, and you know what I'm also going to do? I'm going to do it in front of the American people. And then I'm not only going to stop there, I'm going to challenge you to say something otherwise, to catch yourself up in another lie. Now, the Trump administration here is playing ball. They want Joe to fumble this whole debate so that way they don't have to pull out all the heavy guns. They can automatically see him hang himself in some of the things that he's going to say. Now, Joe, of course, has been caught up in some things in the past, but Trump is saying right here, you know what? watch this, I got one for you. And so that's what he's doing here. So you know, we got over 1 million people, if you can see at the top, watching this now. So we're gonna go back to this and see how Biden comes back from this. Let's see what happens.
Vice President Biden, you may respond in 30 seconds. And then I do want to follow up on the election security.
I have not taken a penny from any foreign source ever in my life. We learned that this president paid 50 times the tax in China, has a secret bank account with China, does business in China, and in fact is talking about me taking money.
That's not enough, Biden. Let me tell you why it's not enough. Of course Trump has secret bank accounts. A lot of the bigger wigs got secret bank accounts. I'm pretty sure the Obamas probably had a couple of bank accounts to the side. Like, you got to come with more, and then you got to stick to the topic at hand of what you did, like what he's, you know. So this is kind of interesting now, and see what, and I'm not on one side or the other. I'm just kind of now just kind of listening to how they're kind of cornering each other, or if they're going to corner each other. And Trump is kind of trying to play chess here, because he wants Biden to get caught up in a lie. But two, the more Biden slips off the subject and starts kind of punching a blow at Trump, then, you know, it kind of shows an admission of guilt in a sense. So let's see what happens.
I have not taken a single penny from any country whatsoever, ever. Number one. Number two, this is a president. I have released all of my tax returns. 22 years. Go look at them. 22 years of my tax return.
22 years? That can't be all of your tax returns. What's missing, guys? Help me out. Like, you help me decide what's missing from his tax returns. 22 years, bro. You at least 100 years old. Like, there's no way that you only have 22 years of tax returns, unless you're saying in the sense that that's all that they're requiring you to show. Now let's see, you know, what Trump says, because you know him, he got a slick tongue, so he might be about to say something crazy, but you know, his money gonna be talking.
You have not released a single solitary year of your tax return. What are you hiding? Why are you unwilling? The foreign countries are paying you a lot. Russia's paying you a lot. China's paying you a lot.
Wow.
Your hotels and all your businesses all around.
He's holding his tongue, y'all. Trump is trying to play with the big boys tonight. He's shaking his head instead of saying, no, you liar, moderator. He's not saying anything like to interrupt or be childish, so I'm even shocked. He got some coaching done, I'm pretty sure, because never does he do that. I know now the moderator is able to mute them if they try to kind of go off the course of, or try to go off into their little boys debate or whatever, the pissing contest that they seem to have. So I'm not sure if that's what's happening, but Biden is pointing the finger, and Trump is kind of like trying to hold himself.
On the country, all around the world. And China's building a new road to a new a golf course you have overseas. So what's going on here? Why don't release your tax return or stop talking about corruption?
President Trump, your response.
First of all, I called my accountants under audit. I'm going to release them as soon as we can. I want to do it, and it'll show how successful, how great this company is. But much more importantly than that, people were saying $750. I asked them a week ago, I said, what did I pay? They said, sir, you prepaid tens of millions of dollars. I prepaid my tax. Tens over the last number of years. Tens of millions of dollars I prepaid. Because at some point they think it's an estimate. They think I may have to pay tax. So I already prepaid it. Nobody told me that.
Did your account
Nobody told you that. Excuse me. And it wasn't written whenever they write this. They keep talking about $750, which I think is a filing fee. But let me just tell you, I prepaid millions and millions of dollars in taxes. Number one. Number two, I don't make money from China. You do. I don't make money from Ukraine. You do. I don't make money from Russia. You made $3.5 million, Joe, and your son gave you. They even have a statement that we have to give 10% to the big man. You're the big man, I think. I don't know, maybe you're not, but you're the big man, I think.
Here comes the slick talking, guys. Y'all see he's throwing it in there, and now at this point he has kind of shrugged off the moderator a couple of times. So you know he's doing his thing. Now he's about to, he's getting heated. You can tell.
Your son said we have to give 10% to the big man. Joe, what's that all about? It's terrible.
All right, gentlemen, I want to ask you both some questions
I have
about
to
all of this.
respond to that.
I'm going to let you both respond very quickly. You just said you spoke to your accountant
Yes.
about potentially releasing your taxes. Did he tell you when you can release them? Do you
As
have
soon as the audit
deadline
is
for when
finished,
you're going to release them
I
to the
get
American
treated
people?
worse than the Tea Party got treated.
Wow.
There's a lot of people in there, deep down in the IRS, they treat me horribly. We made a deal, it was all settled until I decide to run for president. I get treated very badly by the IRS, very unfairly. But we had a deal all done. As soon as we're completed with the deal, I want to release it. But I have paid millions and millions of dollars, and it's worse than paying. I paid in advance. It's called prepaying your taxes. I paid in advance.
I want to.
Is that a thing? I mean, I know he's saying that, but he said it a lot. This is a tweeting president. You know, you make him mad and he tweets. Is that a thing to prepay your taxes? And how do you know exactly how much you're going to owe if the year isn't out? And like, I have questions about that just because that part doesn't make sense to me. And then two, if that's the case, he should already have everything ready to roll. He just shouldn't even have to hit up his accountant at all. At this point, the accountant should already know to have this stuff. You're a big man. You know, if I ever get in the big leagues, this stuff gonna have to already be ready in case someone tries to call me out or something like that. You're the president of the United States of America, great old America. So I don't know. And the prepaid thing is just kind of iffy with me. And in regards to taxes, it's just simply because, like, how, Sway?
Ask you both about questions regarding your potential foreign entanglements and questions that have been raised to give you both a chance to talk about this more broadly. Respond very quickly and then I'll get to my question.
Why did he's been saying this for 4 years? Show us.
Show us.
Just show us. Stop playing around. You've been saying for 4 years you're going to release your taxes. Nobody knows, Mr. President. What they do know is you're not paying your taxes, or you're paying taxes that are so low. When last time he said what he paid, he said, I only pay that little because I'm smart. I know how to game the system.
Where's the lie? He is. He's smart as hell, one, to have landed the president of the United States position, and two, where is the lie, Biden? You're saying things that we know are true. Like, he is smart. If Trump told you, hey, I'm smart, I know how to get away with these things, or I know how to milk the system in the way of the accounting field, then why wouldn't we believe him? You know, why wouldn't we? I don't know. It's just, at this point, you got to come on with some hits. This is the last presidential debate. You got to, I mean, who are you trying to win?
Come on, folks.
So,
President Trump, and then I want to get to two questions to both of you.
Sure.
I was put through a phony witch hunt for 3 years. It started before I even got elected. They spied on my campaign. No president should ever have to go through what I went through.
They spy on everyone's campaign.
Mueller and 18 angry Democrats and FBI agents all over the place spent $48 million. They went through everything I had, including my tax returns, and they found absolutely no collusion and nothing wrong. 48 million. I guarantee you, if I spent 1 million on you, Joe, I could find plenty wrong.
If I that is a blow. Look at look at Biden's face. That's a blow. If I spent 1 million on you, I could find everything I need. Pow! You need to punch back now.
Because the kind of things that you've done and the kind of monies that your family has taken. I mean, your brother made money in Iraq. Millions of
She
dollars.
stay bringing up that
Your
man
other
family.
brother made a fortune, and it's all through you, Joe. And they say you get some of it, and you do live very well. You have houses all over the place.
No, he didn't. You do live very well. You see look at Biden. Look at that face. Look at that. Look at that face. Oh man. He said you do live very well. I mean, Trump, come on now. You ain't living in the basement yourself, bro. Look at that face. He's like, are you kidding me right now? Of course I live well.
You live very well.
All right, gentlemen, let me just ask some questions about all of this broadly. Vice President Biden, there have been questions about the work your son has done in China and for a Ukrainian energy company when you were vice president. In retrospect, was anything about those relationships inappropriate or unethical?
Nothing was unethical. Here's what the deal. With regard to Ukraine, we had this whole question about whether or not, because he was on the board, I later learned of Burisma, a company, that somehow I had done something wrong. Yet every single solitary person when he was going through his impeachment, testifying under oath who worked for him, said, I did my job impeccably.
I forgot all about the impeachment. Did y'all forget about the impeachment? Like, I forgot all about that. I didn't even... I'm slacking. Oh, wow.
I carried out U.S. policy. Not one single solitary thing was out of line. Not a single thing. Number one. Number two, the guy who got in trouble in Ukraine was this guy trying to bribe the Ukrainian government to say something negative about me, which they would not do and did not do because it never, ever, ever happened. My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about, China. I have not had, the only guy who made money from China is this guy. He's the only one. Nobody else has made money from China.
President Trump, let me ask my question to you.
Okay, just one thing.
Very quickly.
His son didn't have a job for a long time, was sadly no longer in the military service. I won't get into that. And he didn't have a job. As soon as he became vice president, Burisma, not the best reputation in the world. I hear they paid him $183,000 a month. Listen to this. 183, and they gave him a $3 million upfront payment.
All right.
And he had no energy.
I'm going to let the vice president
That's
respond to that quickly, and then I need to get to a question to you.
How was that relevant to... Like, I don't understand how that's relevant to what we're discussing. How his son got his money. I get how they're going to bring up your family members if they're doing things that are a little off, or they're drawing attention to themselves, or if he's hired a PI and sent the private investigator to look into the son a little bit more. But of course, if somebody don't have a job and you finally get on, you're gonna make sure that they're taken care of. So I'm just saying, what is your point? I mean, to show the unethical part of it, like what was not right about it. So like the points that he's bringing up now, I can't roll with, only because I can only imagine. Put me in that same scenario, and if there was a family member of mine and I started making it big, and I made it big, and they were without a job, and there's someone that I can trust or honest in their doing and dealings, and it won't reflect back on me negatively, like he's trying to make it reflect negatively on Biden, then why wouldn't I help? So like I need Trump now at this point to come a little harder with his blow he's trying to give.
No basis for that. Everybody investigated that. No one said anything he did was wrong in Ukraine.
Okay,
right.
President Trump, this is for you. Since you took office, you've never divested from your business. You've personally promoted your properties abroad. A report this week, which was referenced, does indicate that your company has a bank account in China. So
I think that is his business, y'all, if he does, because, well, I mean, China, you've been talking noise about China, so now you're, have an account in China. Yes, that looks a little shady, not to have, withdrew that once you found the disrespect, or you found China to be not living by your standards, or not, I mean, this anyway, we're America, it's China, but at the same time, once you realize that particular place isn't your cup of tea, or you start bashing that place in the media, then that's when I feel like you should withdraw your investments as well as your money from them, and that's simply out of respect for you, out of principle, so now if you still have things over there or dealings over there, then that's where people are like, okay, you talk so bad about China, but what's really going on, but I think where he keeps his business money and what he's doing aside from what his job as president of the United States, like if he has real estate properties, or if he were to have media dealings or whatever, where he had his own, let's just say TV show or something like that, I think what he does with that particular money is his business, because even though he has an eye on him with being the president, where he puts his money, as long as there's nothing unethical about what he's doing with it, then I think he should be able to keep it there. But that's just me.
How can voters know that you don't have any foreign conflicts of interest?
I have many bank accounts, and they're all listed all over the place.
Right.
I was a businessman doing business.
Exactly.
The bank account you're referring to, which is everybody knows about it, it's listed. The bank account was in 2013. That's what it was. It was open to do. It was closed in 2015, I believe.
Okay, so that's what I meant. Yeah, they can dig dirt up on you, but if I'm trying to think, because I'm thinking back to 2013. So you add, yeah. So what I'm thinking is once whatever he decided to close it, which was 2 years later. So for 2015, he decided to close the bank account. Then hey.
And then I decided, because I was thinking about doing a deal in China like millions of other people. I was thinking about it, and I decided I'm not going to do it. Didn't like it. I decided not to do it. Had an account open, and I closed it.
Okay.
Excuse me. And then, unlike him, where he's vice president, and
he's a polite, rude person. Like he's rude and polite this time for this moderator, because he's like, excuse me, like he's trying to like make sure he doesn't come across overly aggressive, and I think both gentlemen are trying to make sure of that. So they kind of doing a very mellow job of that. Like they're subtle in this one, so less childish, but still some blows being had, and still enough material for Saturday Night Live to come and do what they do.
does business. I then decided to run for president after that. That was before. So I closed it before I even ran for president, let alone became president. Big difference. He is the vice president of the United States, and his son, his brother, and his other brother are getting rich. They're like a vacuum cleaner. They're sucking up money every...
That's irrelevant, Trump. That's like what he was trying to do to you a moment ago. If people are getting rich in the process and it is not unethical, and you can't, or at least you can't provide proof that it's unethical, then I don't think that those are things that should be counted against them. And it's not his damn fault that the brother or uncle or shit, grandma for this matter, is getting whatever moolah they're getting just off of association. That just comes with the territory. Beyonce's kids have never worked a day in their life, but it comes with the territory of association. Those are my kids. They're going to be well because I am well. They're going to go out and be grinders because I grind. They're going to find their way, and they're going to be people that kind of going to come against them. And not that Beyonce is the epitome of examples, but that just goes to show you how big association is. Hell, her cousin could go into somewhere and probably get some discounts and deals, because that's just how it is. I'm just never okay with the president kind of going, or any authority going back and forward over that kind of thing, because I don't think you should bring my family and use them against me when I have stood in honor, if I have stood in honor, because Biden got some strikes against him too, a lot.
Thank you. We do need to move on. I do want to ask you, Vice President Biden, about China. Let's talk about China more broadly. There have, of course, President Trump has said that they should pay for not being fully transparent in regards to the coronavirus. If you were president, would you make China pay? And please be specific, what would that look like?
Yeah,
what I make China do is play by the international rules, not like he has done. He has caused the deficit of China to go up, not down, with China. Okay.
So my thing with when someone asks you a direct question about things you would do, my only issue with these candidates is they go right to their opponent immediately. I know that's the way the fight goes. That's what all the presidents do. But that's the only thing I can't get with. Someone kind of asks me a question about something, and then I immediately point to my enemy or my opponent, and I'm like, well, this person has done this, versus saying what exactly I'm going to do, and so or what I would have done differently. And so I don't know, and I don't know how you hold China 100% responsible if you had the heads up and could have kind of operated your country different once you found out that, oh, this is happening. Now I got to make a move. It's still a game of chess on the table.
Up, not down. We are making sure that in order to do business in China, you have to give all your intellectual property. You have to have a partner in China. It's 51%. We would not do that at all, number one. Number two, we're in a situation where China would have to play by the rules internationally as well.
Trump want to say something so bad.
When I was still vice president, he said we're setting up air identification zones in the South China Sea. You can't fly through them. I said, we're going to fly through them. We just flew B-52, B-1 bombers through it. We're not going to pay attention. They have to play by the rules. And what's he do? He embraces guys like the thugs like in North Korea and the Chinese president and Putin and others, and he pokes his finger in the eye of all of our friends, all of our allies. We make up we're 25% 25% of the world's economy. We need to be having the rest of our friends with us saying to China, these are the rules. You play by them or you're going to pay the price for not paying by them economically. That's the way I will run it, and that's what we did in upholding steel tariffs and a range of other things when we were president and vice president.
All right, and let's talk about North Korea.
Excuse me, no, I have to respond to that.
Okay, very quickly, and then we're
Still
going to move on
walk
to
out with
North
$1.5
Korea.
billion from China to
Not
manage after
true.
spending 10 minutes in office and being in Air Force Two. Number one. Number two, there's a very strong email talking about your family wanting to make $10 million a year for introductions.
President Trump, on China policy, though, what
No, but
specifically
wait.
are you going to
Biden was looking like that guilty kid that someone just said something true about them and their family, but he had to play it off on like oh, that's not true. His face was so guilty.
What specifically are you going to do to make China pay? You've said you're going
First
to
of all,
make them pay.
China is paying. They're paying billions and billions of dollars. I just gave $28 billion.
New sanctions?
I just gave $28 billion for farmers.
Taxpayers' money.
It's what?
Taxpayers' money.
He said, Trump said, come again. It's what? Like, what'd you say, bro?
No, yeah, you know the taxpayers. It's called China. China paid $28 billion, and you know what they did to pay it, Joe? They devalued their currency, and they also paid up. And you know who got the money? Our farmers, our great farmers, because they were targeted. You never charged them anything. Also, I charged them 25% on dumped steel because they were killing our steel industry. We were not going to have a steel industry.
Okay.
And now we have a steel
Okay,
industry.
Vice President Biden, your response, please.
My response is, look, this isn't about, there's a reason why he's bringing up all this malarkey. There's a reason for it. He doesn't want to talk about the substantive issues. It's not about his family and my family. It's about your family. And your family's hurting badly. If you're making less than, if you're a middle-class family.
I can't. That just sounded too staged. I can't. So listen. This is what's gonna happen, guys. So, listen. This is how it's gonna happen, or what's gonna happen actually. So I was watching the debate. You know, it's the last one. I'm going to finish that in private because it's just so many things that they're going to be talking about, and it's so lengthy that I'm not even going to take y'all through that because I know y'all have already watched it or are watching it with me. I'm pausing so y'all are further ahead than I am. But let me just tell you this. Choose your candidate wisely, as wise as you can, and then also you stick with that particular candidate. I'm not going to hate someone who's next to me for voting against who I'm going to vote for, right? I'm not going to be talking down to them, though I love intellectual dialogue. You know, I like talking about the issues of the world, and I like having those dialogues even when they get heated. And I'm okay with that because we're adult enough and maturing enough and growing and developing enough in this lifetime where we're having more civilized discussions, myself and the people that I choose to have such discussions with, even some of the ones I don't know and I run into on the internet and we're going back and forth over an issue or a candidate or something like that. I don't fight for candidates anymore. That's not what I'm doing. The fight is never about the candidate for me or the party. It's never about Democrat or Republican with me. It's really about the particular issues and policies that they believe in. And Trump has been president, so now he has a history in which you can judge him off. You know, so there's that. Biden has a vice presidential history in which you can judge him off. You know, so it's one of those things where you are looking at it from different lenses. And I keep saying no judgment in the sense of that's not how I'm going to make my decision, because even in my other video where I told you guys, I heard it before at an event where, you know, and it's a infamous quote, you know, where the lesser of two evils is still evil. You know, like you're choosing between candidates where everyone has, all the parties, you know, everyone involved has done something, you know, that may not have been a flattering thing when you put it under a microscope. You know, when you put it under there and you're examining it, it's a little dirty. You know, some halos have gotten dirty. Some people have done some dirty business deals. And that is just what it is. You know, so it's almost like when they say when you're dating, everybody comes with something. When you're choosing your president, everyone is coming with something. I'm just asking you guys, go out there, be heard the way you would like to be heard. Speak up for the candidate you would like to have office, and then also learn how to have intellectual dialogue with people without having to curse them out in another breath because they said something about your candidate or you didn't like it. You know, just find a way to kind of teach them without having to tear their heads off for it. You know, like, it's just all about growing and understanding that you can't change people's minds, and they'll probably die still having the same discussion they had with you because they are not going to try to listen or believe anything differently. And so it's all about an exchange, a positive exchange of information. Really, it's not even about who's right or who's wrong if you're talking to people about your party or your candidate. All right, so look, I know it's my world, you know it's my world, but it really isn't a world without you in it. And I have to have you in it because that's how I grow, that's how I inch up, that's how I continue to build upon my platform. And I cannot do that without y'all. So remember to subscribe. Once you subscribe, there's a bell. Click that bell for me and put all. I need those post notifications on because I will continue to upload videos. I'll be here until it's time for me to transition this life. So I want you guys to be rocking with me. I'm looking forward to looking back, basically. So you know what comes next, right? Hey now, say now, and we're out. Go vote.